Lovely. So moving on to our next speaker, I am very pleased and excited to announce Anastasia Lit, who will be our next keynote speaker. Anastasia, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Anastasia is a director of investor relations for the Europe and the Middle East and North Africa regions at Deep Knowledge Group. She is a very skilled fintech specialist, and she has a very solid background in international business developments with 2 master's degrees in finance and banking, as well as international trade, which she has gained internationally as well. Anastasia is an expert in her craft. She has experience working with strategic partnerships, investment management, corporate finance, and analytics as well. And at Deep Knowledge Group, she holds a very complex role in which she ensures the smooth functioning of various different departments, including the departments that look after longevity, deep tech, AI, deep pharma, fintech, as well as InvestTech as well. Anastasia, it's a pleasure to meet you and to introduce you to our audience. And the floor is now yours.
Thank you so much, Roxy. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you, Dmitry, for his beautiful presentation. So today we are going to talk about what is an IMC and what is it is about this financial structured product. First of all, let's come back to the longevity industry, as Deep Knowledge Group is a consortium that is devoted to the longevity industry, which unites different kind of sectors and industries that are connected to the longevity industries that allow you to increase your health span and live longer. So here you can see our activities, as well as we also issue our structured products as SPVs and IMCs as part of our agenda. So the longevity ecosystem combines like 50,000 of the companies, and you can see the big number of different subsectors and industries at the slides, and you can see the big cloud of the startups, and you need to understand which strategy to implement, how to invest in such a big amount in case you would like to invest in the longevity, deep tech, or other different industries. So typically the active demand certificate is imposed to the qualified, also called professional, sophisticated investors. They often come to the asset manager in the client's bank, in the private bank, wealth management. They allow their asset manager to manage their assets, their money, and this approach has its own limitations. First of all, it becomes difficult as the number of the client grows, so the asset manager is limited. If you want to find a good one, sometimes you will have to lose some money before you find a good manager. At the same time, some securities have a large minimum investment amount, so if just as asset manager just manages only your money, you can skip some good opportunities. There are other types, such as invest in the investment fund or in the ETF, where the asset manager can scale your investments by imposing it to the bigger fund. But in this case, you should understand that there are expensive setup fees, and there is insufficient flexibility and the legal restrictions. And for example, the ETF, like active traded funds that are rather in fashion for the last 5 years, to manage such a fund, you need to spend up to 100K for the management fee for the team. And there is a big amount of the money that should be managed for the ETF, and it could be like $200,000 or $300,000 at least, or even more for the smallest ETF. And in this case, sometimes you just want to invest in some kind of emerging industry as a longevity industry, so you would be interested in more tailored, sophisticated portfolio. In this case, you can approach the active demand certificate, which also is issued by the asset manager, which is also both as a scaling factor, but it's rather cost effective, so it could be using like 20 up to 30 K for the management fees for the manager, or even lower, and it has less demand for the assets that you need to use for the starter package. So what is an actively managed certificate? This is a structured security with an underlying asset that is managed on a discretionary basis in accordance with a stated investment strategy throughout the product life cycle. So basically, actively managed certificates are issued by investment firms or special purpose vehicles, and they synthetically implement their investment strategy through the IMC advisor or an asset manager, which you can see at this picture. So the asset manager forms a portfolio, uses his investment expertise, and goes to the IMC issuers. Classically, it's investment bank. The IMC has a ICIN number that is making available for qualified institutional and professional investors, and it can be launched very quickly in a matter of weeks with a wide range of investment strategies, and has no issuance expenses for the asset manager. And first of all, it's widely known in Switzerland, but now it's becoming more and more popular in other countries, such as, for example, the United Kingdom. In this slide, you can see the benefits of the actively managed certificate vs traditional investment fund. So first of all, the benefits of structured goods and flexible company change within the underlying framework. The investment strategies with low seed money, so sometimes you don't need any minimum requirement to launch the IMC. They can be formed very quickly comparing to the traditional investment funds. They governed by prospectus regulations, so the investors, they are not afraid to invest in such instruments, and investment strategy can be repacked into an IMC, so a very interesting strategy can be used, and only hedge funds can compete with IMCs on such a flexibility. And even embedded leverage and regular coupon payments might be included, so you can make very tailored IMC for your clients, and it could be a very interesting instrument for your clients for the future. Here is an example for individualization of such an instrument. It can implement the feeder certificate, which is offering a risk-seeking investor who want to increase the exposure to the underlying investment portfolio. It is non-resource and can be static or dynamically changed to maintain the same level of exposure of the underlying of the portfolio. And a capital protected variant of the IMC can be preferred by the conservative investors. So as I've said before, unlike the hedge funds, it can be very tailored and it can be very flexible according to the needs of the investors who approach to the decent asset manager or wealth management firm. So here is an example of Deep Knowledge Group IMCs as an example of how you can do it. Recently, Deep Knowledge Group issued 2 actively managed certificates, such as Cancer Vaccines Actively Managed Certificate issued with UBS Bank in the United Kingdom, and Ariane Deep Knowledge AI Pharma Index issued in Switzerland with Vantabell and Ariane Capital. Here is an example of the portfolio that you can build using big data analytical systems and other InvestTech solutions that you can implement. So the basic principles is that an asset management firm or asset manager or analytical agencies, for example, Deep Pharma Intelligence, can create a proprietary list of the AI and pharma related public companies. In our big data analytical system, we create dynamic SWOT analysis to analyze the companies. We do make fundamental financial analysis. We do make technological assessment, and we deploy the portfolio and optimize it on the regular basis. Here at this slide, you can see the bigger picture of such a portfolio. So here, for example, you can monitor if your portfolio outperforms or underperforms some index on which you can, for example, tailor. For example, here we combine cancer vaccines portfolio and Nasdaq biotechnology index, and we can see that our portfolio outperforms. So in this case, we can understand that we do it good. So here you can also use, for example, S&P 500 or other indexes and such instruments that allow managers to follow their strategy to see if they need to implement more portfolio management and they need to rebalance their assets in their portfolio. So the key features of deep knowledge longevity IMC that we are going also to issue in the future, that could be combination of longevity related companies that, for example, if you build your own IMC, you can also pick the number of the companies. It could be like 1,000 or 100,000, and whatever comes to you. Then you can conduct fundamental technical analysis. You can build your own diversified portfolio. For example, we use advanced AI-driven investment techniques, and other techniques can be implemented by the portfolio manager if he wants to issue an IMC. Here you can see different risk reduction, diversification methodology. You can see that is it liquid or not, what are the tax benefits, and so on. So also our IMCs are backed by our analytical agencies, and for example, we encourage you to go and read our open access investment analytics, for example, on cancer vaccines or longevity investment or young pharma digest, and also you can use different analytics for your portfolio management. And also we encourage you to try our longevity investment big data analytics dashboard, or please share also your experience during our session. We would be very interested. Please write in the chat what are approaches that you use. And we would be very delighted to learn more, as well as during our panel session. And as well as Deep Pharma Intelligence Big Data Analytics Dashboard allows you to play your own portfolio on AI and pharma companies to try such features, and dynamic SWOT analysis, competitive intelligence to compare different startups, companies to see which one looks better considering your investment strategies, use business and technical due diligence, and more approaches that would be very interesting for us to learn what to use at your work. So thank you for your attention. It was a pleasure. And also I would be glad to learn more about the approaches of different investors.
Thank you very much, Anastasia, for your incredible insights about AMC. Now, I think we will just have a very short break, just for 2 moments. And yes, if you just give us 2 moments, and if you could also draw your attention into the chat, you will find, again, several links for you to review, some details about Anastasia's presentation as well, and also her profile, as well as her LinkedIn profile. And you can follow some of the content that she has also been sharing recently, along with articles and news and media items that she has been involved in. So yes, we will be back in just 2 short moments. Thank you.